Okay, so the question is, what happens when isobutene is treated with dilute H2SO4? Okay. Iso group CH3CCH3. So this will be isobutene. You have to get it reacted with H2SO4. Then it is very easy because reaction with dilute H2SO4, dilute H2SO4 will ionize a lot. Okay, concentrated H2SO4 does not ionize too much because there is not much water. But dilute H2SO4 ionizes a lot. So in this case, what happens? Because it ionizes a lot, that's why it will be Markov-Nikov addition. There will be a lot of ions there, and when OH gets attached, H gets attached. Because it is dilute, remember there's a lot of water, and due to H2SO4 there will be ionization. So if it is simple water, remember there will be very less ionization. But if we add few drops of H2SO4, then there will be a lot of ionization of water. So it is to facilitate the ionization of water that we are talking about dilute H2SO4. That's why not concentrated H2SO4. So the dilute H2SO4, the water present in it will get ionized, and OH will get attached to that carbon which has less hydrogen. Hydrogen will get attached to that carbon which has more hydrogen, similar to Markov-Nikov addition. So you will get CH3, CCH3, CH3, OH. Okay. So it will be 2-methyl propan 2O. So remember, dehydration of Avnish takes place with concentrated H2SO4, not dilute H2SO4. Now, ethyl alcohol is heated with red phosphorus and HI. Ethyl alcohol C2H5OH is heated with red phosphorus and HI. So basically, the reaction is with hydrogen iodide in presence of red phosphorus. Okay. Very popular way to produce benzene. From alcohol. Here it will be balanced. If you balance this reaction, it should be 2HI. There will be water also. Tanishka, what will be formed in C2? Ethylene is treated with water gas in presence of cobalt carbonyl, and the product is reduced with hydrogen in presence of nickel. So water gas reaction CO plus H2 that converts to aldehyde. So ethylene is basically alkene. So alkenes, when reacted with carbon monoxide and hydrogen, I hope you remember in previous class we discussed this one. Okay. With CO whole 4, okay, twice. It gets converted to aldehyde. That is the 2 carbons here and C there. So there will be total 3 carbons. CH3, CH2, CHO. So another carbon comes from carbon monoxide. After that, it is written that reacted with nickel in presence of hydrogen, obviously it will be reduction, and when aldehydes are reduced, alcohols are formed. So propanol or propan 1-ol will be formed. This reaction we discussed in the previous class as well, if you remember. What happens when propan 1-ol is oxidized with alkaline KMnO4 solution? Very easy one, so I think everyone should give me the correct answer. Avnish, good. Rajant, good. I'm just, because it is easy, that's why I'm not explaining. Yes, others. Alkaline KMnO4 is very strong oxidizing agent, very strong oxidizing agent. Now tell me the answer. That's a hint. Okay, Avnish, correct. No, Karthik, Tyagi, Mansha, correct. I'm saying strong oxidizing agent. So I'm giving you a hint. Karthik Dhanai, correct. Tathagat, correct. Karthik, Tyagi, that was the only option remaining there now, so correct. Anishka, correct. Okay, so alkaline KMnO4 is very strong oxidizing agent and converts alcoholic group directly to acid. Okay. Normally, if it is not a strong oxidizing agent, you will first get aldehyde, okay, or ketone, depending on whether you have primary or secondary alcohol, and then you will get acid. But if you are using alkaline KMnO4, it will directly convert the propan 1-ol to propanoic acid. It is actually oxidation. One methyl cyclohexanol. One methyl cyclohexanol is treated with concentrated H2SO4. Very typical type of reaction. Okay. That's why I am explaining it. On first, that is where you have that is cyclo, not benzene. Okay. Okay. So on OH, where OH is there, there you have the methyl group on the same. So that's why one methyl cyclohexanol. Now, when it is treated with concentrated, and remember, concentrated H2SO4 does the dehydration. Okay. So it will remove OH from one carbon and H from another carbon. So you will get this. That is, on first you have methyl, and also you have the alkene group here. So it will be 1-methyl cyclohex 1-ene. Whether you write hex 1-ene or hexene, it is correct, because that's why that carbon has been considered as 1. But there will be a minor product in this case as well. This is the major product, because you know that concentrated H2SO4 will remove OH and H from adjacent carbons and will do dehydration. But along with that, there is another minor product that OH is removed from this carbon, but hydrogen is removed from methyl group. Only up to some extent, okay? That's why minor product, less than 5%. So in that case, what will happen? OH group will go away and it will take one hydrogen also from CH3 group. And this group is known as methylene group with double bond. This group is known as methylene group. So that's why the name here will be 1-methylene cyclohexane. Hexane. If it is conversion, obviously you will write only the major product, because this question is type of that what happens when you get 1-methyl cyclohexanol reacted with concentrated H2SO4. That's why you have mentioned the minor product as well. Yes, Avnish, the reason that the first one is major, there are two reasons. Okay. First of all, it is very difficult to remove the hydrogen from the carbon of CH3, that is stable. Second one is that the double bond in first case, major product is allylic. And if you know the mechanism of dehydration, the mechanism of dehydration will always be that the hydrogen will be removed, sorry, OH group will be removed from one carbon and hydrogen will be removed from adjacent carbon. So that's why it can happen from both, because to this carbon, both this carbon and this carbon, both are adjacent carbons. So OH can go from the central carbon and hydrogen can go from either, whether it is from in the ring or whether on the CH3. But because allylic is more stable, that's why majority. That's why this one will be major. Okay, when butane 1-ol is oxidized with excess of oxidizing agent. Now this is very easy one. Whenever it is written excess of oxidizing agent, it means it is not going to stop intermediate at aldehyde. It will go to the end. That is, it will go to the acid. So alcohols can be oxidized to aldehydes and aldehydes can further be oxidized to acids. But if we are talking about excess of oxidizing agent, then it means we are talking about to the completion, that is to acid. So in this case, CH3, CH2, 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 OH with excess of oxidizing agent, it will get converted to CH3, 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 COOH, that is butanoic acid. So excess of oxidizing agent will lead to further oxidation of aldehyde to acid. Next, 2-butanol is oxidized with excess of oxidizing agent. Again, similar one, but Aryan, what is your question? Sir, wo CH3, CH2, CH2, OH नहीं होगा. This one, why? There are 4 carbons here. Which question you are talking about? Product, why? It is oxidized to acid. Okay, you are talking about CH2, CH2. Yes, 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 it will. 2-butanol is oxidized with excess of oxidizing agent. Now again the same thing. But there, because there is double bond, Excess of oxidizing agent will not have any impact on the double bond. The reaction will be same. CH3, CH, CH, CH2OH will get converted to CH3, CH, CH, COOH. Butene oic acid. So we remove this E, oic acid. Again, because we are talking about excess of oxidizing agent, it will be acid group directly from alcohol. Next, 2-methyl-1-propanol is oxidized with excess of oxidizing agent. 2-methyl-1-propanol. Again, the same thing, no change. 2-methyl-1-propanol. Again, the same thing, CH3, CH, CH3, COOH. 2-methyl propan 1 propanoid you can write. Okay. It will be 2 methyl propanoid acid. Next, phenol is treated with a solution of bromine in CCl4 at low temperature. So bromine in this case will get attached to only ortho and para position, out of which para will be the major product. If we are using CCl4, then okay. Phenol is treated with dilute HNO3. This is the one, Avnish, I was talking about. Okay, and this question appeared in 2016 or 2017. I think 2016. And if you see here, nitration is not normally done if you only use HNO3. But because it is given like that, in such cases, you will say that nitration will happen if you are using dilute HNO3. Okay, remember dilute HNO3. Then similar reaction will happen. You will have NO2 group attached to para and NO2 group attached to ortho group. Para as usual will be the major, para nitrophenol will be major product. So sodium phenoxide when you get it reacted with CO2 at 413 Kelvin 4 to 7 atm. There I told you 7 atm. Okay, so the range is 4 to 7 atm. Whether you write 7 atm or 4 to 7 atm, it's to you.